Okay, well, g'day, mate. Tony in Australia. I'm very excited, although, we are in other regions and launching the Japanese in April, and there's a few other country markets that we are launching and other languages. But I have to say, being a true blue Aussie myself, I'm more excited about working with you with Australia and New Zealand. Welcome, Tony.
Hi, Drew. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're quite excited. So, as you know, it's both myself and my wife, Erin, who's coming on board to steer this ship here in Australia. Yeah, we're quite excited to get the ball rolling.
That's fantastic, mate. And tell me a little bit about your background and the College of Health and Fitness. I believe you've got, over 20 years experience in fitness certification and education.
Yep. Okay. A bit of my background, like I've been in the industry since 1988. So just a little while. Have set the college up in 2002. So that's been running. So we run Certificate 3 for Diploma in Fitness and Business and a number of other courses as well. I've been lecturing at unis 10 years prior to that. So I have been lecturing the content for quite a while now. And also work with a number of elite athletes and have done so since the 92 Olympics. So we've had athletes at every Olympic game since 1992. Summer Olympics, that is. Winter, don't ask me about. out of my wheelhouse being in Australia. Yeah, so that's pretty much a bit of the background and bio on what we do or what I've done.
Excellent. And your partner also, Erin, she's a registered dietitian as well. And she's partnering with you on this with the GPNi certifications in ANZ.
Correct. Yeah. So Erin's a registered dietitian, a registered sports dietitian.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So she consults with a number of athletes across a range of sports here in Queensland.
Okay.
Yeah, and has been doing so now for a couple of years.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, with your background with the College of Health and Fitness open since 1988, the Australian bicentennial year, if I'm not mistaken. That's when you started. And I remember the bicentennial year. So your background in business and business certifications, as well as, a lot of experience with professional athletes. And then Erin, who is a registered, not just dietitian, but a sports dietitian, I guess with SDA.
Correct.
SDA. Okay, fantastic. I mean, you guys I know we've been talking, not just on this Zoom call, but we've been getting to know each other over the last few months. I mean, you guys really represent, GPNi and the ISSN certifications absolutely beautifully. I mean, you really are set up in the business sense, but also in the, nutrition sense as well, to really localize and bring the #1 international certification home to ANZ.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're really excited because we can see a massive gap in the Australian market at this point in time in relation to what qualifications are being provided and ensuring that people have the right content and knowledge to be able to work with athletes across a range of sports, rather than just being pigeonholed within a physique-based sport or within an endurance-based sport. So, looking at being able to give trainers, dietitians the extra skill set that they require or would like to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big distinction we have. I mean, we've been working now on these certifications and developing the content with experts throughout the world. But it was a major thing in the very early days, many years ago, that we wanted to work with the experts, that we weren't another bodybuilding certification for nutrition. They're a dime a dozen, and it's not what we represent. Although there is some bodybuilding and natural nutrition for bodybuilding and strength and conditioning in the courses, but it's about all sports and all athletes and even non-athletes alike, but basing it off performance nutrition and not general nutrition and not bodybuilding nutrition, because there is a big distinction with what we do and other nutrition courses. We really teach people how to optimize their nutrition and optimize their performance. So when to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, in the optimal doses. So that really rounds out people that really want to fast track, whether it is physique, whether it is performance, whether it is recovery, or even rehabilitation to some degree. So we're looking at elite athletes, but also, you know, the people in the gym, whether it's coaches that are coaching people on body transformations. We're teaching people how to use this, but use it from scientifically backed research that is found on the ISSN, in the journal of the ISSN, and also the ISSN position stand. So it's not just mumbo jumbo or copied and pasted materials from Google Doctor. It's really authentic, internationally recognized certification that is science backed.
Yep, and that's really the other thing that brought us across, was the fact that, you know, graduates can get the international certification from it, and then be able to practice and hold that certification across the world. So that was something that was added the extra level of excitement for us. And we've gone that little bit of a step further, where we're applying to a couple of professional development and registration authorities here in Australia for this to be worth professional development points or continuing education points with them as well. So we've just started that ball rolling, just for a little bit of extra value for those who decide they wish to do the course.
Fantastic. So I always call them CECs, continued education credits, or CEUs, continued education units. Although I am Australia, I'm a little bit behind the times. What are they called in Australia again? PE?
Professional development points, so PDPs.
PDPs, there we go. So you'll have them for the Australian market approximately when? So some of our Australian and New Zealand listeners can understand.
From our end, obviously, we're sort of hand tied a little bit, because it's up to the organising body to approve those. But our aim is to have them ready by May or June.
Oh, fantastic. So by very worst case scenario, June, not only you'll have the international certification available in ANZ, but also you'll have all those PDPs available for the students as well.
Correct.
Oh, fantastic. Then also there's a couple of other governing bodies. There's PDPs and there's another one. And I think you're also looking at some insurance policies as well.
Yep. So all of that, the process of all of those have started as of a couple of weeks ago. So we're now going through that long process with, as I said, 2 registration bodies and also with an insurance body here in Australia. I can't give too much more away yet as to who they are until they're signed off on. But at the end of the day, students will be able to be insured to practice with their GPNi qualifications here in Australia.
Fantastic. And I think that's the, you know,
and New Zealand as well. Sorry.
And New Zealand as well. Fantastic.
And New Zealand as well.
Excellent. Glad to hear that, Tony. And I think that's, you know, the number one thing that we like to offer at the GPNi and with the ISSN certification is that, yes, we're internationally recognized. Yes, we're the only true sports nutrition certification that is globally recognized. I mean, just on a course that we just held you know, for our direct market in English language, we had literally people from every region of the world. We had people from Morocco. They speak a little bit of English, but also French and Arabic. A lady from Belgium. We had 3 from the UK, Singapore, Malaysia, America. You know, it's just incredible. So with a lot of companies and certifications like to say, oh, we're an international certification, you know, blah, blah, blah. But reality, they have no one internationally that's signing up for their courses. So you can only be international if you are international. But the difference is with what we do is we're also localized. And this is what you're doing in Australia, having those PDPs, having the CEEs, the CECs, the CEUs, that people are very much getting the best of international that is also localized for the students in Australia and New Zealand.
Yep, correct. And that was our aim all along since we've started our discussions, is to make sure that the content here is localized and is recognized by the relevant bodies here within Australia and New Zealand.
Fantastic, mate. Well, I again, I'm a little biased, but I'm more excited about the development in Australia and New Zealand than other markets. Not that the other markets and our partners, our franchise partners in other markets are not important to me. They are dearly important to me, but I cannot lie, being an Aussie myself, I'm extremely excited about launching with you guys the Global Performance Nutrition Institute, together with the International Society of Sports Nutrition certifications, level 1 SNS, and very shortly the level 2 Masters CISSN, also in Australia. In addition, we have the continued education courses, the Body Transformation Nutrition Coach, and some other, the Endurance and Marathon Nutrition Coach, and some others that we're bringing in the Australian market also.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, we're excited to be able to run those out as soon as possible.
Fantastic. Any, well, also to follow you guys on Instagram, can you please give the shout out for Instagram and any other relevant things that the other people in Australia and New Zealand can follow you guys?
Yeah, from our end on Instagram, it's GPNi ANZ. If you want to follow my personal Instagram, it's just my name. So it's just at Tony Attridge. We throw some content up there, and we also throw a little bit of content up on our college page as well, which is TCOHAF. And they're mainly just on Instagram predominantly.
Fantastic, Tony. So please, everyone, follow Tony's personal social media, the College of Health and Fitness social media, and the GPNi ANZ, GPNi ANZ. I believe that's the Facebook page as well, the same.
That is, the Facebook page is exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Okay, so GPNi ANZ, you can direct message them there as well if you have any questions. There's going to be a pre-sale, pre-launch, I believe, coming up soon. The PDPs are in the process and everything else. They'll be available in June for the Australian New Zealand market. But there may be some special promotions and things that you can talk to Tony and the team at GPNi ANZ as we launch in the Australian New Zealand market.
Yep, no, sounds great. And look forward to talking to people, helping them make a right decision as to what's going to benefit them and what's going to benefit their careers in the long run.
Yes, absolutely. And two last points, we have to clean up a little bit of history. There has been ISSN certifications, so to speak, in the Australian and New Zealand market for the last 10 or so years. Yep. You know, and that's good. And some of them have been done well. But there's been a little bit of inconsistencies as well over the years with the certifications in the Australian New Zealand market. And that's largely what we're doing, not just in Australia and New Zealand, but in many markets, really cleaning things up and making things uniformed, systematic, double verified that they are very much backed by the latest ISSN and other journals, science-backed nutrition, and really making sure things are done in a systematic way in the Australian market. Some of these certifications before, and maybe still currently, are good. I'm not going to say they're not very good at what they do, but let's say they may be not as uniformed or cutting edge as what we're bringing to the market now. So please don't associate or get confused with what we're bringing to the market. What we're bringing to the market in the Australian New Zealand market is the very latest, most cutting edge sports nutrition and science-backed certification program, and quite different than what was done in the past in the ANZ market.
Yep. No, and that says that from our end, that's something that we're really excited about, to be bringing forward, some recent and latest research, making sure that everything is up to date, and making sure that people in Australia and New Zealand have a qualification that matches with what they want to do in their life or within their business.
Exactly, and localized with all of the local awesomeness that you guys bring to the market as well. And last but not least, I think you mentioned that you're looking to putting a seminar or some big promotion at the end of the year. Yeah, I know it's preliminary at this stage.
That is on the cards. I thought we'd be keeping this nice and quiet, but okay. Yeah, there is something on the cards for later on in this year.
Okay.
In relation to a seminar. Yeah, to be advised.
To be advised. Fantastic. Well, I can't wait. Hopefully I can travel by then, and I'll be there in person for more than one reason, to visit family, friends, and some Australian Queensland sunshine up where you guys are, which I love. But yeah, I look forward to discussing that with you as well. As an example, there is the, for those listening, at the end of this month, if you're interested in the Japanese, it is English and Japanese language. There's the International Society of Sports Nutrition's conference in Japan at the end of this month. And that's a big thing that we're part of as well as we launch in the Japanese market. So these conferences will be going on throughout the year in different markets. And we very much look forward to doing conferences and many things as well in the ANZ market with yourself, Tony and Erin, and the GPNi ANZ team.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Thank you very much. We're really looking forward to getting started and having a point of difference in the Australian market.
Absolutely, mate. Well, fantastic. And I look forward to having a protein shake or two with you and a barbecue in Australia, hopefully this year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
See you, mate.
Yeah.